video is covered by fair use.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Stupid Slayer. TJ, the amazing atheist, posted a video earlier today about the Islam paradox. He asked for comments for people who had ideas on how to deal with it. It's an awful lot to type out, so I'm going to make a video about it instead.
Okay, so this is just going to be a rant, totally off the cuff. I don't exactly even know where I'm going with it.
That's okay, TJ. We like your shit. We'll give you a bit of a time to explain where you're going with this.
So just bear with me. There's probably going to be a million digressions, and some points probably won't reach any sort of conclusion within the video. I just wanted to chew your guys' ears off for a second, and I'll just go ahead and do so without any further ado. The word assimilate. It's a word that I keep hearing out of my fellow anti-SJWs. They say of Muslim immigrants that they need to assimilate into our culture.
They not only need to, presumably they want to. I mean, if you're an immigrant and you move to a specific country, presumably there's something there that you like or admire about that place. And therefore, you want to take on those things. You want to become part of that. Otherwise, why would you move to that place?
We need them to be assimilated, and they're not being assimilated, so this is a problem.
Yes, it appears it is a problem. Quite a large one here in Europe, as it happens, TJ. It appears that many of these people have come here because they want to have the advantages of our wealth, our education systems, or in many cases to hide from justice in their own countries where they've committed crimes. Crimes which they are now continuing to commit here.
The word assimilate to me carries some negative connotations. I think of the Borg from Star Trek, who go around forcing other cultures to be like them. They're the ultimate collectivists because they have surrendered all notion of individuality. They function as a hive mind, and they go around to other cultures and other places and say, "We are the Borg. We are here to assimilate your technology and your culture, and you will adapt to service us. And if you don't like it, too bad, bitch. Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated." That's their fucking speech, more or less. They don't fucking stop and stammer and go, and curse. But by and large, that's what their message is. Your culture will adapt to service us. We will make your biological and technological distinctiveness part of our own. You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Fortunately, mate, or unfortunately, because replicator machines are awesome, we don't live in the Star Trek universe. We live in the real universe. And that's not what assimilation really means. You see, the trouble is you're taking this very negative view of assimilation as it's used by the bad guys in a sci-fi series, instead of using the actual definition that people are using when they speak about it. Probably the most relevant way of using it, according to dictionary.com, is the process of adapting or adjusting to the culture of a group or nation or state of being so adapted.
So maybe it's just because of that I have a negative view of the word assimilation, but I think that there's more to it than that, because when I think of the values of the West, and maybe I shouldn't speak for the entire West, maybe I should just speak for myself here in America.
That would probably be for the best, TJ, because the countries within the West have very, very different cultures and ways of looking at things. And America has its own way that's completely separate even to what most of Europe thinks. I mean, there are many, many values which we hold here that would be an anathema to most Americans.
When I think of the values of America specifically, the core value that I feel unites us all is the belief in freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion.
Come on, TJ. Your screen name is The Amazing Atheist. You know as well as I do that a great many Americans do not believe in freedom of religion. They believe in freedom of their religion.
Freedom from search and seizure, basically the things lined out in the Bill of Rights. And the cornerstone of the Bill of Rights is 1 part freedom of speech and 1 part freedom of religion. That's all enshrined in the First Amendment, freedom of speech and of religion. And it really does sit wrong with me when we say, oh, well, no Muslims because we don't like the way they practice their freedom of speech and we don't like their religion.
That's because their religion is diametrically opposed to having a freedom of speech. Your freedom of speech in a Muslim country ends at the point where you criticize the religion, or even somebody who is considered to be high up in the religion.
To me, when you say that, you're going against the values of the West yourself.
He means America. He knows the rest of us don't believe in the Bill of Rights.
They're no longer the biggest threat to the West. You are. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm being hyperbolic here. I don't think I am. It's just like on 9/11. Yeah, Osama bin Laden and his fucking asshole cronies from Saudi Arabia, mostly from Saudi Arabia, they crashed those planes into the towers. They crashed the plane into the Pentagon.
In the name of their religion.
And I don't care about any. If you got some other conspiracy theory, alternative idea about what happened, just go jump off a fucking bridge. I don't give a shit. That's what actually happened. And that was bad. Of course that was bad.
As were the hundreds of other attacks that have been carried out in the name of this religion since 9/11 across the West. You know, those ones that you tried to minimise in the video that you made not so long ago about it, TJ. One of those times that me and you disagreed.
But what was worse is how we reacted to it. What was worse is how we decided that we needed to curtail freedoms, that we needed to be more active in spying on our own citizens. We needed to pass the Patriot Act, destroy all sorts of civil liberties that are fucking vested into the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Our reaction to terrorism is a lot of times worse.
Those reactions were pretty shitty, but I think the reaction of invading a country that had nothing to do with it and killing thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people in the process was what was worse, TJ. It seems like you couldn't give two tosses about these people unless they stepped foot on American soil.
Than the terrorism itself. And that's what terrorism is designed to do. It's designed to make your society go a little fucking batshit wonky with fear. Because when you're scared, you make bad decisions.
You mean like the one Tony Blair made when he decided to follow that half-baked chimp that you had in the White House at the time into this country that had nothing to do with 9/11 on spurious intelligence provided by the CIA that they had weapons of mass destruction and that they might use them.
You destroy sacred institutions that once you held to be the pinnacle of Western civilization. You take things that were once a point of pride and you say, we got to get rid of those. They're too dangerous now. Unchecked freedom of speech, too dangerous, too scary.
Not torturing, using enhanced interrogation techniques.
Unchecked freedom of religion, too dangerous, too scary.
Giving people a fair and public trial instead of assassinating them with drones whilst they're at weddings and killing loads of people who had nothing to do with it. Too dangerous, too scary.
So now we have all these people calling for monolithic, homogenous American values. Yeah, those fucking Muslims, they don't agree with our values. Well, what are our values? As far as I can see, as I said a moment ago, our predominant and prevailing value is the right to freedom of speech and the right to freedom of religion. And I'm sure that me making this big speech here today is going to trigger a lot of these alt-right faggots. I'm sure I'll get a lot of cuck, regressive, whatever. But hey, you know what? The alt-right faggots actually have a point on this one, folks. They actually do. It cannot be denied. I'm always saying, or I was always saying back in the 90s and the early 2000s, why can't America learn from the example of Europe? Why can't we have universal health care? Why can't we have prison systems that aren't barbaric and a joke?
Oh, well, that's easy, TJ, because your democracy's broken. It's bought and paid for. And large companies make shitloads of money out of charging people for those things. That's why.
Why can't we have drug policy that makes sense? Why can't we have high-speed rail? Why can't we have an actual social safety net here in our country? Why do we sit here and let them do better than we're doing?
Broken democracy.
On so many things, when we could be the greatest country on the face of the earth.
Again, TJ, don't forget about again.
Too many Americans feel like the greatness of America is something inherent and not something that actually has to be worked towards. And that's sad. But now it seems like the left has forgotten to learn from Europe. Because we can't just learn from Europe's successes. We also have to learn from Europe's mistakes. And we have seen from what's happened in Germany and what's happened in Sweden and what's happened in other European countries that swinging open the doors and saying, okay, Muslim settlers, come on in. Come on in and have yourself a ball.
That's because European countries didn't just elect people from the left. They elected lunatic SJWs who took their stupid ideology and expanded it and thought Muslims would give two shits about it. Nobody except Merkel and her band of loons thought that that was going to be a good idea. Absolutely no one.
Well, when they come in, what they do is they send the crime rate skyrocketing. They rape women. They murder people. The instances of terror attacks just go up and up and up and up. We've seen the fucking wave of Islamic terror across Europe in recent years. And a big part of that is because they just keep on letting the immigrants in. Just keep on, yep, open borders, come on in. This is a failing.
It's not just a failing, TJ. It's a fucking disaster. And it's one that everybody with an ounce of common sense could see was going to happen. We have terrorists committing atrocities in the name of a religion. And we decide that what we should do is allow loads of people who believe in this religion to come into our countries, into our continent, whichever you want to look at it, and give them free access, because we have open borders, to travel wherever they want. Who'd have known they were going to start blowing shit up?
Of liberal values. And the liberals who are digging their heels into the dirt and saying, oh, this ain't a problem. This ain't happening. They're being ludicrous fucking ninny morons.
They're also signing their own death warrants as far as their political careers go and their ability to make those decisions, because they're all going to get ousted in the next set of elections in their various countries. Unfortunately, they're entirely likely to get ousted by people from the far right, and that's a scary thing too.
So the alt-right faggots do have a point. The immigrants that we're letting into these our countries, they're fucking shit up.
You don't have to be an alt-right faggot to think that, TJ. It's not something that revolves around your hatred of the Jews. It's common sense, mate.
And, I don't know what the solution is to this problem. This, to me, is a great paradox. Because, on one hand, if we say, all right, no more fucking Muslims, no more of these people with their ideas, then we're killing Western values. We're the ones doing it. We're saying, nope, turns out that freedom of speech and freedom of religion just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Not in this situation. We got to just say, nope, has to be exceptions. There has to be a big, major asterisk next to the fucking First Amendment now that says, except Muslims. That's no good. That doesn't strike me as a good solution. I don't know if it strikes any of you as a good solution, but it doesn't strike me as one. On the other hand, if we say, yeah, guys, Islam, cool, sure, come on in, have fun, yeah, welcome to America. We got freedom of speech here, we got freedom of religion here, it's awesome, you'll love it.
And they will love it. And they'll use that freedom of speech to spread their hate around the world. And they'll use that freedom of religion to shout bigot and racist at you if you criticise them in any way. Because here's the trouble. You can't judge somebody on your own standards if they don't agree with your standards. They do not agree with freedom of speech. You are not allowed in their religion to criticise their religion. And according to them, you're not allowed to criticise their religion even if you don't believe in their religion. And if you do that, they'll send a load of gunmen into a fucking publishing house of a magazine and shoot every fucker there.
Well, yeah. Turns out they don't love it. Turns out that a lot of them, they want to run you down with their car. They want to run you over with their truck. They want to rape your fucking daughter or your mother or your sister or your friend or your girlfriend or you. They want to fucking commit crimes and be barbarians and dilute the culture and fucking preach the end of freedom of speech and preach the rise of Sharia law and the rise of a new fucking Muslim caliphate in the fucking West. That's also extremely fucking unappealing. So I feel like we're in this position now where we have to choose between two disgusting, intolerable, hideous, evil choices.
But one of those choices is ever so slightly worse than the other one, isn't it? In one of those choices, we say to people, well, you can't really say that here. It's not an acceptable thing for you to say in our country. And the other one, we bow down to an oppressive force who believes in a non-existent sky god and uses that as an excuse to go round killing people who don't agree with them. There is, of course, a third choice. It's where we just don't let them come here. We don't allow them into the West. We say, fuck you. Stay where you are and preach your hate to each other. We don't want to fucking hear it.
What do we do? I don't fucking know.
I just told you.
I have not the faintest fucking clue what we do in this situation. It is, as I said, a paradox. Because either we destroy our own values to keep Islam from taking over, or maybe not necessarily taking over, but at least causing massive instability.
And then using that instability to take over, while shouting bigot and racist at every fucking opportunity.
So we surrender our values to protect the stability of society, or we keep those values and let someone else destroy Western society. It's like the dog is gonna die either way. Either your neighbor's gonna kill it or you have to shoot it in its fucking head.
And if that dog thinks that I deserve to die for saying it's bullshit made up religion is a bullshit made up religion, then I'm going to race my neighbour to that dog and see who gets to kill the fucking thing first.
But you love the dog. He's wagging his tail. He's sticking his tongue out and saying, hey, I'm freedom of speech. Remember me? I'm your favorite thing about America.
but then I got rabies, and now I want to bite you in the ass repeatedly. Rabies is Islam.
You don't want to shoot the dog, but you also don't want your neighbor to come shoot the fucking dog. What do you do? What do you do when you're in that situation where the dog is gonna fucking get his head blown off either fucking way? What do you do then? Does anybody have a fucking answer? Does anyone have an answer between these two fucking positions? This dichotomy we're given, that I want to call a false dichotomy, but if I don't have another solution, I can't call it a false dichotomy. I just have to say it's a dichotomy. It's a true dilemma. What do we do? What do we fucking do? Do I just have to pick a side? Do I have to either join the fucking stupid motherfucking idiots on the right and say, keep Islam out, keep them out, immigrants bad, yep, you know, America good, immigrants bad? Do I have to join them, or do I have to join the fucking ludicrous, loony, liberal left who's acting like, yeah, kumbaya, let's just hold hands with Islam. Oh, they chopped my hand off. Oh, well, you know, cultural differences. Wee, Islam is fun. What do I do?
Well, for a start, mate, you stop looking at a point of view which is held by a particular group of people and espousing that point of view to belong to that group of people. It is possible to have a point of view that is shared by a group of people that you don't like and not belong to that group of people. It's common sense. If the choices are to not allow migrant Muslims into your country because you know they're going to do these things, or to allow them and then let them do these things, then you don't let them in. There's no problem with freedom of speech because they're not there to have a freedom of speech. They're in their own country, doing whatever the fuck it is that they do there, killing each other, throwing gays off buildings, all of that shit, but we're not affected by it. We just fucking leave them to it.
What do any of us do? I envy you stupid sons of bitches on the fucking right or left side of this issue who know exactly how you feel and are like, yep, we're gonna get rid of freedom of speech and freedom of religion so we can keep out these damn raghead sand niggers. Or, you know, open up the borders and just let them in. We can all live together in perfect harmony. I envy you stupid fucks who get to do that, who get to say that. I wish I was dumb enough to want to be on either of those sides, because then I wouldn't be filled with this fucking great moral conflict. I guess that's all I have to say for today. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe there's something I don't understand. Maybe someone can help me out on this. I really hope so. I really hope there's someone in my comment section smarter than me who has a fucking explanation or who has something they can say that'll at least put me on the track towards seeing something other than what I see now, which is a rock in a hard place that I'm fucking smashed in between like a goddamn bug. Love you guys. Thank you for watching.
Well, I certainly hope there's somebody there that's cleverer than you as well, TJ, because you don't seem to understand that your argument changed halfway through your video. At the beginning of the argument, you were saying that it was either that we had to stop freedom of speech or we had to allow them to have freedom of speech and to preach their hate and bullshit and whatever else. And by the end of your video, you're saying that we need to decide to either curtail freedom of speech or to not let them in, which is exactly what we do need. One of which is not a bad idea, and the other one is. It's very simple. These people do not want to come to our countries because they admire them. They want to come to our countries to use the resources and to take advantage of the freedom of speech that we have here in order to push their own narrative. Good God, TJ, what is going on? What is going on in your head, mate? How are these two things even equatable? you can keep your freedom of speech and you cannot get blown up or run over or have your hand cut off or be thrown off a building, because that's what they're fucking doing to you, mate. They're going to take you up onto the top of a building and throw you the fuck off it because you like to stick stuff up your ass. Oh, shock horror.
What are you doing in a baseball bat? I can't get you. Why are you doing that?